All right, welcome to the second episode of previously Untitled Podcast, now the Content Cube. We made it, folks. It has a name now. I'm Brian Woods.
I am Jake Mosher.
I'm Megan Rubenstein.
I'm Zach Hohenstein.
Megan was not here last week. I don't know if you guys knew that. She's our guest this week. Megan, tell us something about yourself.
Hi, I'm Megan. I know Brian, Zach, and Jake from E23, and I go to Mizzou. I'm a journalism major.
Okay. Let's get right into this. What do you guys want to talk about first? I forgot everything we talked about before the show.
I say we jump into the hot news today, the Toy Story 4 trailer.
Yes, that did drop. I didn't say this before because I wanted you guys' raw take. The first minute or so of that trailer I was watching, I'm like, man, Woody's like a fucking slave hunter or something. Like, Spoonie's like getting out of there. He's like, I'm escaping. And Woody's like, we gotta go after him. Bonnie loves this toy. And I'm like, this is kind of weird. It's kind of weird, right?
It is. I never thought about it that way. But you're not necessarily wrong.
And
like,
then he runs.
The slave, or,
It wasn't.
the spoon doesn't want. The spork doesn't want to be there, but they're forcing him to be.
It wasn't my first impression.
It was my. As the trailer went on, I'm like, okay, this isn't really what it's about. But then it's like, oh, I found sanctuary with all these other freed slaves, and I'm one of them now.
I thought it was about growing up.
No, Toy Story
That
has
was
a metaphor
and
for
accepting
slavery.
change.
Dude, that was Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 was about moving on, not growing up. It's a difference.
What do you think about Woody, Megan?
I don't think anyone else thought about it the way you saw it. Thought it was a pretty classic Toy Story storyline. They have to be going after someone.
Okay, guys, let me clarify. The trailer ended, and I'm like, Woody's all right. But going in, I'm like, man, like it's a very harrowing escape from Spoonie. He jumps out that window. He's like, I'm getting out of here. And Woody's like, we got to get him back.
I appreciated them showing more story than the last ones, but I feel like now we know most of the plot. I liked being kind of in the dark.
Yeah, I think this happens every movie these days.
Except, well, we'll get to that.
Like, I saw Spoonie say, oh, aren't we going back to Bonnie? After the first half of the trailer was about him not wanting to do that. So I kind of know what that arc is now.
Yeah, like that. I think it would have been fine if they just... I mean, it would have been weird to have a whole movie about a new character when this is supposed to be their end, but I would have been fine.
It's not their end.
Not
This
death.
isn't it.
This is going to be the last Toy Story.
I think this is it.
I thought 3 was it. They said
I think we all thought 3 was it. But I think this time they're like, this is it, but for real this time.
Now he's back. He's gonna fuck Bo Peep. It's gonna be the end.
Bo Peep doesn't seem like the same character that she
I
was.
forgot about her as a character.
The reason
a character.
Now here's the thing: the reason you forgot about her was because she was probably the most forgettable character in the first 2 Toy Story films, and now they make a whole movie about getting her back, or Woody finding her per se, and it's kind of underwhelming. But you see, what I like is what gives me more faith in it per se is that it seems like she's a lot cooler now. She was really kind of like a one-note character before.
I would agree with that. But if what I said sounded negative, I am excited for this movie. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I never saw any of the other Toy Stories. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was What?
This is about to be a Toy Story podcast episode, just explaining the plot line.
Ranking of Toy Story.
Well, that's an easy one.
I don't.
Actually, that's a really hard one to rank. The more I think about it,
they're all great.
all 3 of them are pretty good. I'd probably go 1, 3, 2.
My favorite Toy Story movie is the YouTube video that shows Toy Box gameplay from Kingdom Hearts 3. I thought that was really good, and I'm like, man, this is a good sound. This guy sounds like Tom Hanks, but it's not.
He did. Buzz Lightyear did not sound like whoever voices Buzz Lightyear.
I'm just surprised
The
that they
fat
let
guy.
Bo Peep sound old.
She
sounds fucking old, dude, and it's not like a problem for her. It's like, oh wow, they really.
It seems like she's different a bit because she's had different experiences. Before she was just kind of like a little like shepherd lady or whatever.
Did her voice used to be higher?
Yeah,
Okay,
and it was
sorry.
like more delicate sounding. And here's another question: didn't she have like all these little sheep following her around everywhere in the first two
Fucking
movies?
died during the escape, man.
Yeah.
I would say they're nowhere to be seen.
They escaped with Spoonie or whatever the fuck his name is, and now they can't be found.
That,
now,
you know the time.
are we gonna get into Spoonie? Because that raises a lot of questions about the Toy Story universe.
What is his name?
Spoonie?
Spoonie, Sporky? I don't know.
Sporky.
He is a
I don't know.
sport guy.
He's a spork, Tyson.
Are you? I assume the question you're going to ask is why isn't everything alive?
Yeah, okay. If you can just
I think
just
that's
throw two googly eyes on a spoon and it comes alive, where do we draw the line and what gains
I think it's
If you take the
metacognition?
googly eyes off, does the life leave the vessel?
Don't they fall off at some point in the trailer, or am I imagining that?
I didn't
I
watch
don't
it
think they
that
show
closely.
Spoonie die in the trailer.
But I think it's if the kid imagines you as a toy, you become a toy.
and if
Right.
So if she
Well,
like,
you
went
see,
up to her mom and
what
was like,
other...
Mom, you're my toy now.
It just raises a lot of
have
questions.
you seen Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
Yes.
I think it might be like that. You are willed into existence.
Is
Your
anything,
soul enters
so the second
vessel.
Yeah.
you become a toy, you gain metacognition.
Yes.
Yes.
I just
Okay,
wanna know
now-
why the writers chose a spork as a character.
Because they're getting
It's
existential.
plastic,
You
it's
know what I mean?
it's accessible.
They're getting existential.
Everyone can relate to a
It-
It,
sport.
it gives that
Really
easy
hard.
message of you don't fit in, but you can.
It's like, am I a spoon? Am I a fork? I
Am
don't
I
know.
even a toy? I thought I was supposed to be used for soup. That part was very
That was
funny.
pretty good.
I've never. I'll tell this. I'll say this right now off the bat. I can say this with 100% confidence. I have never been able to successfully pick something up with a spork.
I've never used a spork.
I cannot for the life of me find an actual application for the fork part of the spork.
Why is this so fucking hard for you?
It can't be. They're too small. They're too small.
Are you talking about like fork style? Like it's
Fork
not.
style. I cannot.
What are you
like,
trying
pick
to
something-
impale?
Like a green bean. Okay, we only get them at fried chicken places, right? Where else do you see sporks?
I don't. I thought
I
they were
only
invented-
get them at like
Sporks,
churches and
I did
these.
not know
I
fried
thought that-
chicken was the.
I thought they were invented for the movie. I don't.
You have never seen an actual
think I've
sport.
I
seen
keep
them at
doing
Taco
this, and
Bell.
you keep.
So you
I'm fucking.
you
with
were.
I keep doing this, and you guys keep.
Okay. Back to the toy.
But yeah, you're right. The fangs on the fork are often too shallow on the spoon.
That's the best way to say it. Yeah. Okay, but what other toys have consciousness?
I think like every toy.
Like, I'm gonna ask the question that I'm sure we've all considered: do sex toys have consciousness in the Toy Story universe?
No, because
They're
aren't
not-
toys. If
Yeah.
you put
They don't
googly,
exist.
if you
They don't
put-
exist in the Toy Story universe.
They definitely don't.
I didn't expect them to touch on it.
It's like
But-
if kids would have to grab one and be like, "I want you to be my toy," and then I guess it would have life in that sense.
If you don't put eyes on your toy, can it not see?
These are horrifying questions. I really don't want to get into. I don't know what the Pixar writers' room answers these questions.
Listen, I guess they don't care enough about the Pixar shared universe theory as it's so fucking stupid.
Okay, well,
no, we're not doing this.
another thing in the Toy Story trailer is like, didn't it look like a blatant ripoff of the Goosebumps character Slappy the Dummy?
I don't think that's
Like those ventriloquist dummies just chasing them?
I don't think that's a Goosebumps ripoff.
No,
I think Goosebumps took that because it was already a toy.
Yeah, it's already a creepy toy. It's like, oh, how can we make this
Okay,
thing even
but
creepier? You know
It's
what
like
I mean?
the color cover.
Goosebumps made it alive though, and scary.
Yes, sure.
And
I don't think they're going to use it the same way as the Goosebumps one. I don't think it's going to terrify children.
Do Chucky dolls exist in the Toy Story universe, and do they want to kill?
Megan,
Does Chucky
answer.
Does
we're
Chucky
finally
merch
getting to the
exist?
right
think
questions.
so.
You don't think so?
No.
Did you guys catch the Child's Play trailer a month ago for the new Chucky movie?
No, actually.
They're doing it?
Yes, actually, I thought it looked pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay, well, clearly I'm the only one who's seen it, so
Yeah.
we can't really talk about it.
Speaking of trailers, I know we've all seen because we watched them during the sound check. Aladdin.
I'll
It's
go
back,
first.
baby.
I'll go first.
And he's 3D.
It's all
got-
3D.
he's
Technically,
got
it was
real hair.
3D. It was 3D before, but I see what you mean. I'm gonna go first and say this trailer made me much more excited for it than I was before. And my hot take is I'm more excited for Aladdin than I am for Lion King. And definitely over Dumbo, too. Which in terms of like the 3 live-action Disney movies coming out this year.
Okay, hold on. Can we go back? Why do people say the Lion King reboot is live action?
Because that's what Disney says.
They're all CG. There's not a single living thing in that fucking trailer.
That is true. They need a new name for
They're all
them.
CG.
Like, it's live.
I love The Lion King, but I just don't know why that movie is necessary.
Well, apparently they're changing it a lot, is what I've heard.
I'm excited for the cast. I like a lot of people in the cast, but I agree with what people said when the trailer came out. Visually, like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to look at, like, a fake desert in African Sahara.
Did you see Jungle Book?
Yeah.
That was actually pretty sick, to be honest. I liked it.
But I feel like that has more visually going on than a desert does.
It's a jungle.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, and I just
there is a jungle in Lion King.
That is true, but like looking at the Jungle Book trailer,
I saw Lion King 1.5.
Looking at the that's a good one. Looking at the Jungle Book trailer compared to the Lion King trailer, the Lion King looks like a lot of reds and browns, and that's all we're going to be getting. And I don't know, that visually is kind of boring to me.
Lion King 1.5 gave us the backstory on the meerkats we didn't know we needed.
Was that the one with Timon and Pumbaa, like their story?
And they dig tunnels. The hit song "Dig a Tunnel."
One of my favorite games on the Game Boy Advance was the Lion King 1.5 Game Boy Advance adaptation. Phenomenal, let me tell you.
Get back to Aladdin. I didn't like the way the monkey looked, but I did like. Okay,
a lot of people have complained about that.
Dude, like, they fucking perfected fake animals with Jungle Book. They're revving up the engines again for Lion King, and this monkey looks like shit. Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's like the fucking Black Panther fight in the hit film Black Panther. Looks like a fucking PS2 cutscene. It looks like shit, and that you're bringing in this monkey. I'm like, you guys already did this. I don't know why it doesn't look as good as the Jungle Book animals.
The rest of the movie looks really visually.
It does. The rest of it looks very good.
That's what people hated on the not the first teaser that was like 20 seconds, the middle one where Genie first appeared. They hated on it because of Genie, but like that trailer enough, I was like, visually, this looks really good. And then, like she said, the new trailer only reinforced that.
I think Will Smith is like perfect for the Genie.
I agree.
Like, if there was anyone else, like, obviously not Robin Williams because he was awesome, but like if there was anyone else that I think could like replace Robin Williams in that role, would be like Jack Black or Will Smith. Jack Black and Will Smith would be like the two.
Can Will Smith sing?
You know what he's got a lot of. You know what he's got a lot of though, Jake. You know what you need and
personality,
charisma.
I feel like Donald Glover could do Genie better than Will Smith.
Okay, well, Donald Glover's locked in with Simba.
That's true.
And I think if we're going to bring a Lion King one more time, I think everyone's just kind of, checking their watches, waiting for that rendition of Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Childish Gambino and Beyonce.
Fuck.
Are you ready for that? It's going to break the world. It's going to be quite sensual. There's going to be some R&B shit going on.
Okay, I don't know if you guys caught this in the Aladdin trailer, because I was looking for it. I'm like, are they going to do the weird, like, the Genie's a fucking newscaster bits, where it's like, oh, you shouldn't have this technology, but you see him in glasses. There's like a split second in that trailer where he's wearing like fucking like thick-rimmed glasses like mine. I'm like, oh shit, cool, they're going to do those weird bits.
I hope they keep
where he's like a fucking professor and he's like pointing shit out. So they're going to do that in the movie, which I enjoy. I'm glad they're sticking to the original with that. The rest of it, it's just a lot of.
Do you remember how they get Jafar at the end? Oh, it's so clever.
I don't remember, so don't spoil it for me. I genuinely
don't spoil the 1993 hit animated film.
I probably watched it when I was like 4, and I don't remember.
Is the parrot going to talk? Does the parrot exist?
Parrot has to talk.
It's a Disney live action movie.
Okay, but is he full talking, or is he like squawk? Says a few words. Talking. Like full talking.
I bet.
Like perfect English.
Yes.
So what Disney movie comes out next year? Mulan is next year, right?
Whatever Godfrey, isn't it, who voices the parrot?
I do think it's Godfrey.
Yeah. Is he coming back?
I doubt it.
He is
iconic. That's an iconic.
I think the only person that's come back for any of these is James Earl Jones, and like the new Lion King is coming back to be Mufasa again.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'll take it.
I am worried about Guy Ritchie, though. Not a great track record as a director, and no matter, like, his trailers look usually pretty good, but his movies have not been fantastic.
It's fair.
I think it's almost impossible for any, like, mainline Disney film to be, like, bad at this point.
Because there's so much control.
They're fucking run through so many layers of money.
That's true.
Like, that stuff can ruin a film, but, like, Disney, like, they seem to know what they're doing. they have enough of a monopoly on this business that like all the smart people have to work there.
You know, like
So
Last Jedi aside, they try to stay away from things that are gonna piss people off.
Yeah.
And I like Last Jedi.
And even then, they probably didn't anticipate that pissing people off.
Personally, I was happy to see Luke die. Good riddance.
I was okay with it. Not that I was like happy, but
I've never seen Star Wars. I was just trying to get a rise out of you. that one's real. You know how I'm always fucking with you? I have not seen Star Wars. That one's real. But we don't need to talk about it.
Speaking of Disney
a lot
not
to
being
get into.
able to make bad movies, how do you guys feel about the Avengers Endgame trailer?
I think I don't want to overhype it, but I don't know if I've ever looked forward to a movie in my 19 years of living more than this one.
Let me tell you about Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. Okay, no, but the Endgame trailer, it reminded me of the first Infinity War trailer. I'm like, is this a fan-made trailer? Like, did I click on the wrong fucking
okay.
YouTube
The
video?
Infinity War
No, but like,
trailer
there's
was
enough.
awesome.
No, like, there's enough fucking footage in there that's like nondescript or like just reused. Where I'm like, did I click on the wrong link? Like, am I a fool for even believing that? No, but it's real. Like after
It's the emotional payoff.
No,
It's the
after you
build-up.
get out of the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is real. Hawkeye's fucking hair. Megan, have you seen Hawkeye's hair?
No.
Whose phone is still on?
I got you.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop the podcast.
I mean, you guys keep talking. I mean, here's how I feel about the trailer. I really appreciated the use of old footage. I wish all the trailers would have been comprised of old footage, just because then it keeps everything hidden. They've done a phenomenal job of keeping the actual plot hidden. There's something big that we obviously don't know of. So here you go. Here is his haircut.
They did kind of do one big reveal in this new trailer.
How do you feel about
Hawkeye's
that?
hair.
Hawkeye's hair was a
good.
huge
It's
reveal.
really high.
Megan with the hot take of not good.
Is that a undercut or what? I don't.
This
You have to wonder.
it's too long for
It's-
the sides
So your
to be
family,
shaved.
we all assume his family died, right? In the snap, like his whole family's gone. You have to wonder what in his priorities after that. Losing his family made him think, I think it's
I
Mohawk
need a
time.
haircut.
It's like when a
It is like a midlife
My-
crisis.
my
yeah, it's like when a
wife is
boy
here
or
to tell
girl
me
gets out of a
no.
relationship and they're like, I need to get a new haircut or get a tattoo. That's what this is.
Because I don't see the tactical advantage of having a hair like that.
There's two directly contracting articles. The first one says Hawkeye's cool new mohawk is our favorite thing about
Who
the
said that
trailer.
one?
That was GQ, and
Thought
then
so.
the immediate the immediate next article is from AV Club. It says Hawkeye's dumb new haircut is the endgame hero we deserve.
It's so high. Like, I think they could do it, but it's very high and poofy. Endgame, probably going to be a fine film.
I think it's gonna be fantastic, and then I think the MCU's might go to shit.
I can't wait to spend 40 minutes just reviving every dead character. Like, I feel like I don't... Whatever. We're going to get into that at a later date. But I think that movie's going to be really good. I don't know what I'm going to watch after that. I'll probably see Spider-Man, but I'm
true.
like, I don't need to see
Well, they're
Black
taking
Panther 2.
like a year-long break after Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Bullshit. No, they are
You
not.
don't think so?
They will not take a year of not making
I think
a Marvel
I think
movie.
it's almost. I think what I heard is there's not a movie coming out till like late May 2020, which is almost a year.
Maybe.
I personally think one of the best things Marvel ever did was the Phineas and Ferb crossover, and they've kind of been on the down slope ever since.
Tell you what, while we're on the topic of Marvel, bringing back James Gunn was pretty awesome. I think.
I forgot about that. I kind of let go of Guardians. I'm like, James Gunn's gone. Like, so I'm just not really.
I let go of it in the way I've let go of the MCU.
Yeah, like
So-
I haven't let go
I
of any
can't
of it.
believe it, dude. I cannot believe Disney would just publicly eat. Like, how fucking bad was their work on Guardians for them to bring back this dude?
Well, that's what I heard. People were saying how many people did they reach out to that said no, that weren't willing to either they felt bad, but felt bad taking his stuff, or just did not want to be associated
Or how
with the
many
one who
people threatened
tanked
to
it.
walk?
Yeah.
Personally, if I was Disney, I'd be like,
Dave Bautista not only threatened to walk, he threatened to go to DC and make movies.
yeah, but if I was Disney, I'd be like, fucking, who needs Drax?
I do.
Fuck him, dude. Like, I would burn the
drugs.
fucking franchise to the ground before I brought back James Gunn, but here they are. Like,
I
would
was
never,
upset with him being fired in the first place.
No, I was too, but I would not have admitted publicly, John Disney, fucking biggest dick in the industry. I would not just eat crow like that.
I was
you know what
apparently like they made this deal months ago too. They just haven't announced it.
That was one of my initial theories, is that at this point they're probably just waiting for it to die down and then just casually.
Oh, it was genius. If they would have done it a week after, the uproar would have been a lot worse. But doing it now, the people who care were vocal, were like, "This is awesome," and like the 10 people who were like, "This is dumb," on Twitter that no one looks at complained. So
he's still doing.
Yeah,
he is still doing Suicide Squad. I think he's probably doing that first.
Which apparently pushed back production of Guardians, which I always wonder how that works within the MCU's timeline. Like, obviously, I don't think that's too affecting.
You can honestly get away with like releasing a Guardians movie anywhere because they're probably not going to have much relation at all to the things going on Earth.
It could
so
be
you can
before.
set it at any point.
It could be before Infinity War. Like Guardians 2 was like 2014 timeline wise.
It'll be interesting what they do with movies outside of like the normal time. If they do movies, they're like, oh, this is just a one-off that happened in the past, or if they keep everything like linked. Because Captain Marvel technically was in the past, but it was pretty linked to what's going on now in terms of setting her up.
Tell you what, until the MCU lets me down, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just assume they know what they're doing.
You seen Thor 2?
That was
that one not let you down,
like
Zach?
13. And to be honest, I don't hate any MCU movie. There's just a couple that I will never like go out to rewatch.
Megan, do you hate any MCU movie, or do you even like any MCU movie?
Megan, have you seen any MCU movie?
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but no.
No, you're not.
What?
No, dude. Fuck it.
I don't think you even deserve hate,
dude. That's freedom.
It's like just shock. How like
I am
none
surprised
of that.
you've never seen one.
See, you'd expect that kind of stuff talking about like from Brian, like, oh, good for you. You haven't seen a Star Wars movie, Brian. You're denying culture. Culture comes and knocks at your door saying, enjoy me. Everyone else is enjoying me, and you say, no, I see them liking me, so I don't want.
Star Wars?
I've seen some of them.
How have you?
Okay, I've seen episode 4, and then I'm like, okay, gotta do. Okay, I saw 7 with my friend Tyler, huge fan. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back and watch these movies. So I saw episode 4. I'm like, that was all right. I'm going to do this chronologically. Go to episode 1. This fucking CG lizard man dives under a terrible CG tank. And I'm like, I'm good. Like, I literally stopped watching after Jar Jar dove under that tank. I'm like, this is terrible.
After watching 7, I was like, I was on such a high. I was like, I'm going to go back and watch them. I fell asleep during 1. And I was like, nope, we're not doing that. Megan, so how have you... how have you avoided watching any of them? There's been 22 of them, and they're the highest grossing movies. How have you not been in that number?
I'm just kind of shocked. Like, not even Iron Man 1.
Well, no, here's the question that we need to ask.
Avengers?
Here's the question we need to ask. What movies do you watch? And we'll get a good perspective.
Yeah. What was the last movie you saw in theaters?
Last movie I saw. Probably something over winter break. What came out? I don't even remember.
Aquaman.
No. Mary Poppins Returns. That was
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney.
Good?
Another Disney movie. Was it good? Yeah. Give us the short review
Disney
of Mary
owns the
Poppins
world.
Returns.
It was good. I liked it. Probably not as good as the first one, but it was good. Enjoyable.
A classic. A timeless classic.
Yes.
But back to denying... Yeah.
I don't know. That's just amazing to me. Like 22 movies and
it's not even like you just. I don't blame you or like I'm shocked that you have no desire. I'm just shocked. It's like, oh, I'm at someone's house and we're gonna watch Iron Man 2. You've literally never been.
That's not what happened.
I had a friend whose first movie was Infinity War, just because there was so much hype. I know. Like, why would you do that?
Frustrating.
But there was so much hype around it, and so many people were talking about it and seeing it. Like, why not?
There's hype. There's hype because of what it means, and if you don't really have any emotional stakes in the character,
I think she had seen Spider-Man, and that was it.
It's like going into like Logan and like without having seen any other previous X-Men movie with Hugh Jackman.
X-Men movies aren't very good. You can go to Logan pretty without any context.
But okay, well, saying you're not gonna have as much emotion invested in the climax if you haven't watched 9 movies with this guy already.
Yeah,
which is I think why I enjoyed it so much, is because that felt like the book closing after like 10 years of watching these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I had something to add about Logan, but the movie is old movie.
Speak about Logan. Speak about Logan.
I was gonna say if I remember correct, I did not like the first act of that movie. I found it slow. And that's just my opinion. I've only seen it once. I might have to watch it again to give. I might have a totally different.
It was around the
opinion.
9th time of watching it that I realized how amazing it was.
You see the limo die, and it's just so sad. You know?
I like that. I like that part. But then when he's talking to Patrick Stewart and Patrick Stewart's fucking spazzing out, I was just like, this is not for me.
But the payoff with Patrick Stewart when he gets off his meds and he actually has like actual conversations, he's not like a crazy old man. Oh, it's so sad. I'm sorry, I just geeked out.
What else happened this week that we were going to talk about?
So today there was Brian.
Wait, do we want to talk about binge watching first?
Sure.
I've been binge watching some stuff lately and binge reading, and you guys have been going in on Game of Thrones, and Megan, I feel like this is something you can probably talk about to some extent.
Binge watching?
Yeah, just like
I read
watching
Game
stuff.
of Thrones. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
either.
no, we're not talking about Game of Thrones. We're talking about the idea.
It's
of
okay.
watching TV.
It's okay.
It's a fine.
What
show.
have you been binge watching?
Have I been binge watching? The last thing I watched was American Vandal, which is old news, but I finally watched season 2, and it's very good.
Oh,
Sadly
rip.
canceled.
So that one got canceled too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was
where was
Unfortunately.
Lin-Manuel Miranda when that got canceled?
I don't
Trying to
think-
get
I
that
don't-
picked up.
I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine has a nice like social message at times, but I guess American
A few
Vandal actually
episodes.
does. I can't say that. American Vandal actually has a very strong social message in the second season, so maybe he hasn't watched it.
Lynn's too busy working on Hamilton too. He probably just taking around and watching
Make a
it.
sequel.
Has there
I
been
don't
a
think you
sequel to
can.
a musical? Like that has made it big on Broadway.
There is a
The
Phantom of the
opera
Opera
one, but
sequel.
it's bad.
There's Hairspray. Did they ever do Hairspray?
Where's the musical
There was
cinematic
a
universe?
Grease too,
Grease too?
but just the movie.
That was a movie,
It was
yeah.
not good.
Doesn't count then. Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark did not get a sequel.
There's a Mamma Mia 2 movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
they're
that was
all
ever
movies.
Broadway.
There's no Broadway.
Fine,
they
then
don't
a
make Broadway
Hamilton 2
sequels.
movie he's working on.
There's not a Hamilton 1 movie.
That's true.
No, it's like how they're making a Stranger Things 3 video game. There's no Stranger Things
There
season
is
3.
going to be a Stranger
Let's
Things.
hop back on binging because Stranger Things made me think about that. There's something about binging that has changed the way I watch TV. I used to watch a decent amount of things that I would record and watch weekly, but especially freshman year of college, because I don't have a thing to record TV on. And after last year, I cut the CW shows, Arrow, Flash. They just got bad, and I cut those out of watching. So everything I watch now is basically on some sort of streaming thing. So I'm watching it all at once, and it really is the way to watch every TV show. Every TV show should be formatted in that function. It's better. It drives the plot easier. Also, anything that's on a streaming service most likely doesn't have as much filler episodes as just normal TV does.
I don't know, man. Those Marvel superhero shows have 2
Yeah.
episodes in them each
It was
season.
always a couple episodes too long.
Compared
for
to the
those Marvel
23
Yeah.
episode seasons
You're right.
on normal TV, Stranger Things, that was the first big, in terms of me joining the binge culture,
Yeah.
was that. Not counting watching, presently, because of course I went back and watched The Office, but present binge culture where everyone watches it in a week is insane to me.
Yeah.
The first show I ever binged, I think I was in 7th grade, and I finally went on Netflix and I watched all of Breaking Bad, and that was cool. But you see, what the binge culture thing, I think what it does is when you have the next episode in front of you right after you finish the previous episode, and you don't have to wait a week.
You see the thumbnail. You're just what the fuck is that, man?
Right, exactly,
Holy
Brian.
shit, that's a fly.
And then when
Well-
you watch things on regular TV, you're like, wow, I wish I could binge watch this right
Yeah.
now. I wish I didn't have to wait a week.
I'll be honest, you brought up the what's happening, but I'm currently binging Game of Thrones to catch up for season 8. If I were to watch that live every year, I would be so confused. There are so many names and plots going on, I would not know what's happening.
See, only when you become a crafty Game of Thrones vet like me do you understand every plot thread that is woven together in the most complicated of ways.
Are you fucking?
But to a
That show was a marvel that it functions.
to a first person viewer, I can tell you right now, the first time I watched it, I was absolutely lost for the first 3 seasons.
You gotta watch it twice.
Well, that's
to
what turned
truly-
me off.
I'm on time
Yeah.
I'm on time 5 or 6
That's
going
what,
through
yeah,
it.
that's what turned me
Jesus.
off the show. Is I watched season 1 and I was I took a week break and then I watched 2 and I was they threw out so many names. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who house this is. I don't know what land we're in. It's too much.
I don't know what land we're in. I don't know what show
My
this
brother
is.
had to send me a map Like there's someone made like a whole Google map and it shows the whole like.
Oh yeah,
world.
I've made cheat sheets for my friends when they watch it.
Oh my god! Like I don't know if they're still doing this, but I remember HBO was like doing an app where like you're watching it on HBO Go and your
like
phone
walk
was
along?
No, and it was like, okay, here's where this scene is on the world map, and here are the characters present. And
That's honestly kind of cool.
I don't know if they're still doing it, but I remember they're doing that. I'm like, that kind of just speaks to how fucked your show is.
I don't know how
It's got if you can like get into it, it's got big payoffs. Like for how grand of a scale it is, it's hard to like. Yeah. It's not very accessible in that way. But if you honestly like immerse yourself in it, the payoffs are like so huge.
To put into perspective how many storylines the show is juggling, there's a storyline that they end season 4 with that I am 7 episodes into season 5 and they haven't even touched. This character hasn't come back. They just like, it's like he's not even there. I brought him up to my brother. My brother goes, "Oh yeah, guess he wasn't in that season." I was like, "Oh, the main."
Oh, you're referring to Bran.
Yes.
Oh yeah, what they did was they took a season off for Bran.
They're like, "Oh, just take a season off this."
Yeah, because he was a boring character.
How is the show so successful if it's so confusing?
Because the payoffs. If you really like, it's not a show that it doesn't really work for binging in the sense that a lot of people binge. This type of binging, like where people are like, "Oh, I'll do homework while I watch and do stuff like this," because if you're watching 1 episode a week, you're going to sit down and actually watch it. But if you're like going through, you're just going to get lost and you're just going to keep on like doing homework or like being on your phone the whole time while episodes keep on playing and you're not going to really like understand really what's going on. But if you actually like sit down and watch the show and take it all in, you're gonna get into it.
I did research to answer your question. You asked, how is the show successful? The thing is, it's successful only because of binge culture. Because this show premiered at like around 2 million viewers. It stayed at 2 million viewers consistent. It was like 2, the next thing was like 3. Only till season 7 did it finally reach this like peak. Everyone watches it, 10 million viewers, because it was there for everyone to watch all at once. The only reason it's as big is because since it's based off a book, it had like this core group that really, really cared. And then that slowly spreads out to more people who can do the binge and get into all the lore and families and characters.
Now here's the flip of it with like the binging thing. So like if you do watch it live, the immediate reactions like online after something big happens, that like gets it out there, like gets people talking about Game of Thrones. And then like if like when you hear those type of big things happen, because that's like what Game of Thrones is built on, like huge things happening. Usually at the end of each season there's like one thing that like will just make you really sad and depressed. And people will talk about it. You're like, oh wow, a lot of people talking about it. I should watch the show so I can talk about it too. So like that's the one thing I realized is like watching last season. Like after every episode, I would always go on like Twitter and like just like go hashtag Game of Thrones and like they would be so funny. Some of the like
it's the sole reason I'm catching up. It's the sole reason I'm trying to catch up before the thing. And me and my brother talked about this. This is going to be, at least to my memory, this should be the last show like this because everything is going on streaming services. And they're like, when's going to be the next show that everyone's like wants to sit down and watch the final season or watch these episodes together and talk about them? Because everything goes on at once. Everyone, it's like a conversation for a week. Like Stranger Things is big for the 2 weeks it comes out. And then conversation drops.
And people go at different paces, so you can't really like talk about it. Whereas Game of Thrones, if like 1 episode a week, when you're going online at that night, you know everyone's going to be talking about that one thing that happened that episode. So like that it generates that conversation.
Does HBO do stuff all at once, or do they still do weekly?
No, and they do it weekly, like on HBO, and then like the episode like an hour after it finished airing goes on HBO Go, and that's how I'm gonna have to watch them, like in college.
Yeah, but so they still do like weekly stuff.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think they have any content that goes all on at once. I think it's all weekly.
Yeah, so HBO Go is pretty much just for what's already been on HBO.
Yeah.
Megan, what have you been watching recently?
What have I been watching? A Million Little Things. It's really good. I watched it on Hulu. It's a drama, very different from this. I watched This Is Us, which is kind of the same thing.
What is A Million Little Things about?
There's a lot going on.
Is it like, I've heard it's This Is Us, but again, it's like, it's a different channel as This Is Us.
This is still
Us. It's CBS.
Yes,
I think it's
NBC,
we are still
so
this.
It's ABC's This Is Us.
Yeah, they're very similar.
My sister and mom are big fans of these two shows.
Yes.
So feel free to talk about them because I'm sure they'd love to hear what you have to say. How is This Is Us going? Because I know it's wild with the plot.
I have not watched the last episode, but I watched it on Hulu because it's uploaded the day after every day. But I usually watch it with my mom at home. But yeah, I've been keeping up. Those are the only 2 shows I've really been keeping up with at school.
What was the last biggest twist in This Is Us?
Oh boy.
Spoilers for people who watch This Is Us.
Spoilers.
Well, I haven't watched this week, but the week before, Kate had just gone into labor.
No.
So then we're going to see what happens with that. And then the season finale of A Million Little Things just happened. So that's
What
okay.
happened in that?
A lot of the mysteries were uncovered. There's a lot going on. They didn't.
What were
I
the
don't think they ended
mysteries?
it
And then
very
cover
well.
them for us.
I don't even remember. I watched it like 2 weeks ago, but I don't. There's just like a lot going on. They
Would you
didn't
say
wrap it
this
up
is
very
a
well.
okay? I was going to say, would you say this is a good show or a bad show?
It's a really good show to binge because you just want to keep watching all of it. 'Cause there's a lot.
Well,
But
here's
if you sit down and watch it every week, it gets confusing.
Is it like junk food almost, or is it like? Are you fulfilled?
I'm fulfilled.
Okay.
Okay.
see. Well, here's the question. If you like when you say something's good, like a good show to binge, because like when you finish an episode, you really want to keep watching. If there's ever a show where you watch an episode and you don't want to keep watching,
That's very
then why
true.
are you watching the show in general? Like, is it a good show? If you any good show should make you want to keep watching.
Maybe it like eats away. Like maybe it's
No.
like, oh, this show's like
That-
really upsetting. And
Oh,
I
here's
can't
a
do it.
perspective. Okay, so to make it probably a really applicable example here, because I'm sure a lot of people have done this, is the last 2 seasons of The Office. All right, I'm under the impression, I think a lot of people are, that they're just really not enjoyable, save for a few handful of episodes. I think if you're watching them once a week for like those 2 years, you're gonna be so like, you're like, oh, am I really gonna cut out this part of my like once a week to watch this like trash show now? But like if you're binging it like I did, I could like, okay, like yeah, it's bad. I can just power through though, because if I like really like sit down and watch like 10 of them today, then that's like they're 50%
I was the opposite
done.
with The Office. When I got to that point, it was hard for me to watch them, even if I was binging them. Like I watched the first seasons like so fast, and then once I got to that, it's like kind of stopped.
I think that's you can go.
What's the payoff at the end of the 2 seasons?
The finale is
It's good.
emotional, yeah.
Okay, this part's super weird for what you just said, because like the people watching it week to week, they have no option. It's their only Office. You get to those 2 seasons, like fuck, I could skip right to the end if I
That is
want
true.
to. Why don't you do that?
Because then I feel like I didn't earn it.
You're feeling
Brian.
like you cheated.
Yeah.
almost.
feel like I cheated.
It's like I'm 8 seasons in.
Like I'm
It's time
not
to bleed.
I'm not gonna
Like,
watch 7 seasons and then just
Yeah, I
skip
know
the
what you
character
mean.
arcs in the
Yeah.
last 2. And
I know.
I had to, that thing you said. I've come to a conclusion with shows where I would watch. It'd be a struggle to get myself to watch. And I realized if I'm doing that, I just shouldn't be watching
right
it.
now, here's what proves my example. At least for my case, is
Yeah.
I watched Walking Dead live, like from its beginning
When
to
did you
like
quit?
what season ended with Negan killing someone and then they didn't show who?
Oh, season.
Oh my God.
7.
Season 6,
6 or 7.
6 ended with Negan killing someone, and they wouldn't tell you who.
Who did he
What's
kill?
up?
And I think that pissed me off so much after watching 6 years. After 6 years,
Wasn't season 6 really good?
up until that,
Who did
Yeah,
they
that's what I
kill?
mean. Like,
and then who did they end up killing? Well, he
Yeah.
killed a guy named Abraham first, but then like that was just to make you think that there
That
was
was
no one
it.
else was going to die, and then they killed an even bigger character off, which would be Glenn.
So they did kill Glenn.
And that scene was that scene was handled well, but in general, it was hard for me to like
it's
get
funny.
back into the show.
It's funny
after
how
they
much
did that to
that
me.
altered the fan base of Walking Dead. They could have literally put that first 10 minutes of season 7 onto the end of season 6, and season 6 would have gone down as the best season in Walking Dead history.
Instead,
But
it's infamous for that.
One of the worst endings of a
Right.
season.
People were upset. Like
maybe
I don't watch it.
Honestly,
but people
my immediate social media post was like, maybe Negan killed my interest at the end there, because that's honestly what it felt like.
That's a
I'm
good-
going
that's a
back and
good
liking
bit.
that post.
If you can
That's
find
funny.
it, it's a few years old
That's
now.
funny. You said that thing about The Office. Maybe I just look back on the whole show better. I don't remember it being that much of a chug for seasons 8 and 9.
Oh, I was having
it
to chug
that
it pretty
bad?
hard. Right.
I thought it was.
It was honestly,
It wasn't
maybe
as
over the
good,
course
but-
of like the 22 or 24, or however many it was, season 8 episodes, probably laughed total for the whole season, maybe 3 times. It was a
Fuck.
rough episode to laugh ratio.
Well, that's another thing about binge. That's why I almost didn't want to do Game of Thrones. Is I struggle to watch the same thing for like in a long period of time. So like for a show to like keep my interest, it can't decline. Which is like Parks and Rec only gets better. It also doesn't overstay its welcome.
Oh,
6
Parks and Rec
seasons.
is perfect example of just like maintaining a degree of quality throughout. Like maybe like you could probably pretty easily say like, oh, seasons 3 and 4 are the best, but you're never going to be like it drops.
I don't know. Season 1 is the worst, and it really only gets better from there.
I don't know how people do it.
And I even like season 1. Like I'll admit season 1's the weakest. I still even enjoy season 1.
Yeah, don't know how people do what.
Like people suggest. I read like the Walking Dead comics and I tried the show, but like season 1's like fucking trash. Once you get through that, it's all right. I'm like, fuck you. Like I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah,
that's like 20 hours of my life.
I think season 2 was my favorite.
For what?
Looking back,
Like,
but here's another thing with binging, or the difference, the benefit of like shows that are put immediately on the streaming services or on channels like HBO. They don't have stupid hold your interest tropes before commercial breaks that like Walking Dead would just try and pull on me. Like, oh, Carl tripped on a rock. Is he going to get eaten by a zombie? Find out after the commercials. It's like, no, I know he's not, AMC. I mean,
I'm trying to remember the last show I watched or someone was like, get through season 1. I can't remember.
Parks and Rec for me.
The thing is,
honestly, I don't even need to get through it. It's enjoyable enough.
6 30-minute episodes.
I didn't like season 1 what I saw that much.
It's the worst.
Definitely
I'm sure
gets
it's
better.
fine. I'm sure.
It's
Maybe I
definitely
just don't
better.
like the genre.
I think the more season 2 they make Chris Pratt a more like prominent character, and I think that's when the show and they changed. Actually, the best thing they did is they changed the main character, like Leslie, which is like Amy Poehler, a lot, and they make her really likable.
They also realized, shit, we're kind of just an Office ripoff right now, and they toned away from all the direct camera.
And you know, it's a good foil to Office because Parks and Rec, Office a lot. I mean, I'm saying Office at its peak is hilarious, but like I think the one reason why overall I probably prefer Parks and Rec more is because it's just like a more pleasant show.
Well, yeah, Office is rude humor.
Office is like
it's like awkward rude humor,
which is funny, really funny, but
Office makes my skin peel, dude. It's so stressful.
Did you watch Parks and Rec or The Office, Megan?
I watched The Office, not Parks and Rec. Like I've seen episodes, but I never watched it. I feel like it's harder to binge watch sitcoms sometimes.
I would agree. There's still less plot. Well, that's why like the any sitcom that can have a strong plot is like amazing to me. That can be consistently funny and give characters that I care about is
like Arrested Development seasons 1 through 3.
Those are really funny.
Those are really funny.
I haven't watched the new thing they released. I heard it's not that good.
I think season 5
I'm not a big fan of 4.
Season 5 is better than 4. They did a recut of 4.
I watched the recut and
I was impressed. I'm like, this is
well, here's what they did. Honestly, what they did with season 4 is I think they kind of made it top heavy, and the first few episodes were really funny. I was like, wow, were these jokes in the original cut? Like, but then I realized they just kind of took all the best jokes from the whole season 4 season and put them in like the first few episodes of like the recut, and then like half in the middle, I was like, oh yeah, now I remember.
I think season 4 is good if you watch it in a day. Because like there's so many weird fucking callbacks.
It's
whatever.
I honestly, Arrested Development's a show that probably should have been left. Like but like a peaceful, like honorable death that it did die after season 3, which was like all 3 seasons were very funny and it wrapped up the show nicely.
I have a question, and Brian, you can choose which one we do because I don't know. I want to hear everyone's either like top 3 shows they binge or like top 2 shows that they binge that most people probably haven't watched. Okay. Whether you want it to be like things that people have listened to or things that. Or people have watched, or
do whatever you guys want. If you guys want to spread your content seed and try to get people in on stuff,
Jake liked that one.
If you want
because I didn't, it fully sunk in, and then it just continued.
If you guys want to disguise you suggesting shows to people, then go for it.
Here, Jake,
but if you guys just want to say like Office, Westworld,
but
see, those are not really
I know
hot takes.
No, but like
we're doing more hot takes.
No, do it. It's your choice.
Okay.
You suggested it. I hope you have an idea.
I think I have too many.
Do you want to start with someone else?
The amount of TV I've watched, I watched 26 seasons, like 26 shows last year.
Okay.
And so I've watched an absurd amount of content. If someone else wants to go, if not, I can't go.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to go first because I'm not really having one that's jumping in my mind.
Okay, I will try to do things. I will spread it across the streaming
I can go
mediums.
right now if you want to.
You can go.
Prepare someone.
I will try.
Okay, so fun fact, I don't watch TV. Never really have. Lately I've been watching Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 with my girlfriend, but that's weekly and I'm not binging it. I think it's a fantastic show. You guys should watch that. But I have something hit me recently where I decided to reread some parts and rewatch some parts of My Hero Academia, which is an anime. It's on Hulu.
I was going to say, it's like, what's the difference between an anime and an anime? But you answered that.
I say the first one if I'm trying to be ironic. And I think it's really good to rewatch because I'm rewatching this. I've already seen it. So it's kind of just on in the background. And that's kind of a pleasant feeling I haven't had for the past 6 years of my life because I don't do TV. I just do video games and podcasts. I don't like TV because I can't multitask. Because that's a purely, I need to pay attention. But with video games, I'm like, fuck this music. What if I listen to a podcast instead?
That is true.
So that's why I prefer video games. But I've kind of been watching that in the background. And I've noticed that, like, I've been rereading it. Some of it, too. It's a manga, too. And there was a part I really fucking hated in the manga when I was reading it week to week. And I reread it recently. I'm like, wow, this is actually really good. And probably one of the better parts of the series. And I just hated it at the time because it felt so low stakes and just, like, not interesting. But it was more of, like, a character piece, I guess. But I found, like, rewatching it and binging it, like, it's a better show. Mm-hmm. Like, it is, like, just, like, different and, like, better in a way that I did not appreciate the first time around. And, go watch that one, folks. My Hero Academia. It's on YouTube. No, it's not on YouTube. It's on Hulu and Crunchyroll. But Crunchyroll's for fucking weebs. They got the English. They got the English on Hulu. I hope you guys weren't paying attention and were instead
I was paying attention.
formulating. I hope you guys
I
formulated.
was looking at you in the eyes, but I wasn't hearing a word.
That's what I like to fucking hear, Zach.
All right, I got mine.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I got a few. So I'm gonna fire these out pretty quick. Okay. So one of them is kind of like a guilty pleasure show where it's admittedly not like a very good show or well written at all.
That's okay.
And it's really only enjoyable if you watch it with someone else too, because it's really all about the discussions that you can have about it.
Yeah.
And that was the MTV Scream show, which honestly, it's really exactly what you want it to be. It's just characters making dumb decisions and having really melodramatic problems and getting murdered in elaborate ways, and it's all about figuring out who's doing it, who is fucking killing everyone, and why can't they find him or her. And it's honestly, if you watch it with someone else and get to talk about it, like between episodes, like wow, I used to sit down with my brother. He was 10 years older than me. We would be watching it like once a week and be like, wow, you ready to have some discussions? You know, like who's doing it? You know, so that was fun. On a less hokey level, but still pretty hokey and probably less accessible level because it's not on Netflix. Have any of you guys heard of the show Da Vinci's Demons?
Yes.
No.
Showtime?
Stars. So yeah, it's really only available
the third tier of the pay-for channel.
Exactly. It's kind of obscure.
Are you paying for Stars, Zach?
My dad is.
Nice.
But it's honestly really like a fun adventure show, and admittedly it's pretty over the top, but it's definitely supposed to be, and it's just, you're never gonna not have fun watching like Leonardo, like this fictionalized version of Leonardo da Vinci be like a genius, and he's pretty much like a borderline superhero with how smart he is and the stuff he invents, and he's like, it's all about like protecting Florence from like the Moors and like the Ottoman Florence from like the Ottoman Empire and stuff.
It is wild the shows that get passed and approved on those type of channels. You get some weird shit.
I'm telling you right now, it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun show. And then like my actual like dead serious, this show is amazing, but probably did not get the recognition it deserved.
Can I tell you what you're gonna say?
Jake probably has a very good theory.
It's on HBO.
It is an HBO show.
A bunch of people have died and they don't know where they went.
Right, and it's only 3 seasons, so it's very accessible. HBO's The Leftovers may be, and it has the benefit of only being 3 seasons, so there's really not an opportunity for a drop in quality.
Yeah.
Probably the most consistent, best drama I've ever watched, television-wise. It is just so well written and well acted, and it really kind of hits you emotionally.
I was super interested in The Leftovers. You may have already learned this about me. I was interested in the leftovers from a position of I would really like to read the end of this on Wikipedia and find out where everyone went.
See,
I do this with a lot of shows.
now that's the cool part about the show is you would expect it to be like some standard sci-fi, like, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
Was it
Are you
aliens?
spoiling it right now?
No. I'm just
Okay.
saying to explain what the show is like. It's like, oh, it's actually not at all about them finding out what happened to them. It takes place like 2 years later, and it's just about the characters dealing with this weird phenomenon that like shook the whole world.
It's much more about the themes. About
Right,
it,
the
right?
themes, the character. It's a
not-
very
yeah.
character-driven show, and it's really well written and well acted, and it just, I think it's borderline perfect.
Okay. You got anything?
So that's my official recommendation.
Okay, I got one thing I totally forgot about. How could I forget about it? The binge watch to end all binge watches, guys.
There's no such thing.
I watched all of Naruto with my girlfriend once.
How many like hours of content is that?
We skipped as much filler stuff as we could, but sometimes the filler shit is part of episodes that matter. So I'm watching stuff from a plot that I don't know about until it gets to the real shit. And we did this for like 6 months, and there's like 700 episodes.
Damn.
All like 23 minutes. Fantastic experience. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Fuck Naruto. Terrible show. Naruto's good. Naruto Shippuden has some issues that I wrote an essay about in the heat of the moment. We're gonna do something about that in the future.
Okay.
But I watched it all, guys. I fucking did it. What an amazing experience. And I'm not being sarcastic there. Incredible experience. I suggest you guys all do it if you feel like it.
Okay.
I'm not saying this is a good idea. I'm saying this was an experience like no other. I'm like, holy shit. I'm consuming fucking 15 years worth of content in the span of 6 months, and it's killing me.
You know, actually, one show that I want to bring up again is it's a show that it's not really a hot take because everyone knows the show and everyone has seen episodes of the show, but I feel like it's not a show that people actually like, oh yeah, I like the show, but I'm not going to go back and like actually go through it. The first 11 seasons of South Park are probably like, there's 22 total seasons. The first 11 are probably the best show I've seen, just in terms of being well written, like just really funny satire, like week to week, and just like so sharp and funny. Those 11 seasons are amazing. Afterwards, it's like hit and miss. And then are we counting Rick and Morty as like a big show now? Because if you haven't watched
That's
that,
a big show.
You really need to watch that.
I think
because it's
people-
hilarious.
people are on
It's
that
really
train.
ruined
It's
now.
not, yeah.
That's a whole other segment. But
Megan-
people ruined it.
I could go forever on Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty's good, but
Megan, what are your suggestions?
My top 3 shows that I've ever binge watched, probably the first show I ever binge watched in middle school, and looking back, that's really cringy, was Gossip Girl, which I don't know if any of you have seen.
My sister, I saw through my sister because every day she would watch it.
So in middle school, me and all of my friends would watch it, and then we would watch to the same part, so then we could discuss every time. But I feel like that's just kind of a classic. Like, we all watched that. And then after that, One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill is the best show that I have ever binge watched.
Those are the 2 most popular.
Was that the show? Let's see, I might have watched the first 2 episodes of that one time and then stopped. Was that like the show? It was like really like a melodramatic soap opera.
Yes.
And there was this girl that had like did like live webcam stuff, but she would just sit there and do homework during it.
That was just one of the parts. Well, that's one of those shows where you have to get through the first few seasons.
Isn't it kind of
This
like...
guy would play basketball by himself outside in the dark.
Isn't
and
it kind of
stuff.
like Riverdale before Riverdale existed?
No, because Riverdale's... I watched Riverdale in the beginning, but then
Here
it
we
just
go.
got so bad.
Yeah, I agree.
can't
I watched
watch it.
season 1 and it was fun, and then it got bad.
It's really
like
bad.
Glee?
like Flash.
I watched the first season of Glee
It
and I was
took
like,
longer
Glee
for us to
was
get
fun.
Better for longer.
Yes.
I
Do you have
think
any
I
other
stopped watching
suggestions?
Glee in season 3.
After One Tree Hill, Gilmore Girls, which is kind of like on the same trend, but it's like the opposite. I know that none of you probably
It's like
ever
all the
watched
things
these
my
shows.
sister
I
watches.
know what all these
You're gonna say
shows
something
are.
about like Pretty Little Liars next
I've
or
never
something?
watched Pretty Little Liars.
Okay.
Wow.
Gilmore Girls, it's just like, it's very different. It's not as dramatic, but it's just like fun to watch. Yeah,
All right, that it?
those are my 3.
All right.
Okay,
Jake,
I'm gonna
ready
get.
for this.
I have a lot of sources to do really quick
Okay.
summaries. We'll go through each.
You could speak. I think we're going to save the Google keynote for next.
Okay,
for next
sounds
week.
good.
Yeah.
On Netflix, highly suggest Broadchurch. It is a murder mystery starring David Tennant and Olivia Colman. Olivia Colman, now Oscar award winner. She's phenomenal. David Tennant's phenomenal. The first, all 3 seasons are very good. The first season, it's the best, but it doesn't really drop in quality. Each season is a different murder mystery with the same central group of characters. They're all Jodie Whittaker, who's now the new Doctor Who, is also in it. They're all phenomenal. That show's great. On Hulu, catch up on FXX's You're the Worst. It's a comedy about two really horrible people who find each other, and it's really funny, but also deals with, like, she struggles from depression and anxiety, and it's like a mix of comedy and also kind of a drama with dealing with mental illness, and that's really good. On Amazon Prime, Mr. Robot, absolutely phenomenal show with Rami Malek, just much better than he is in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is that how you pronounce that? Rami Malek?
I thought it was Malik.
I've been saying Rami Malek.
He was great.
Rami Malek, Rami Malek, I don't know, but he's phenomenal in that show. That's like I don't really know how to describe it. Psychological drama thriller. I don't know, but it's about a hacker. That show's very good. If you want something new, Russian Doll on Netflix is only 8 episodes, 22-minute, 24, 22, 24, whatever minute episodes. It is the best use of the die and come back to the same day concept I've ever seen. It also it gets into heavier themes, but it uses that mechanism as a really good way to deliver that. And then this is not a hot take, but I just want to talk about it. You talked about, like, your guilty pleasure. Not that this show's a guilty pleasure because it is now a guilty pleasure because everyone has become a part of it. But Stranger Things just makes me happy. I don't know what it is, but that's like one show I can see myself putting on and just like going back to. It just makes me feel good. That's it. That's all my suggestions.
All right.
So I guess the moral of the discussion is watch Game of Thrones.
I forgot about one. My favorite show from last year, Sharp Objects. Amy Adams.
Oh, I want to watch that.
Amy Adams' performance is impeccable. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Isn't that like a murder mystery thing?
Yeah, another murder mystery that if you don't like slow TV, don't watch this. It is slow. The mystery is dragged out. One of the best payoffs for a murder mystery ever.
I crave slow TV.
You will dig this. Some of the best editing in a show ever.
I love questioning whether this is the best use of my time.
I got a fucking pressure cooker, dude. I live for slow things. All right, is that it?
Watch Game of Thrones. That is the main point.
Watch My Hero Academia. Some say it's better than Game of Thrones.
If you can watch Game of Thrones, if you can catch up with Game of Thrones before season 8 premieres, I would be impressed. Got a month.
All right, I think we do our Twitter handles now.
Yeah.
Zach Hohenstein 1. Zach is Z-A-C-K, not Z-A-C-H. And Z-A-C-K-H-O-H-E-N-S-T-E-I-N 1.
Follow me at JMosh_17. JMOSH_17.
It says a lot that you need to pull out your phone to confirm that.
I don't tell people my stuff a lot. They have to find me.
All right, Megan, you're up.
I also needed to pull out my phone. My Twitter is at MEGZZZ2000.
Were you born in the year 2000?
Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
It does not roll off the tongue. My other handles for my Instagram were already taken, so I had to go with a new one.
All right.
And yes, I was born in 2000.
Okay, that's neat. Sorry, just kind of took me
What a year.
I'm at Brian of the Woods on Twitter. I'm at Brian of the Woods on everything. There's a real account on Instagram, but it's a secret. I might drop that one later. Thanks for listening, gang. And thanks for coming on, Megan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'd love to have you on again. Next episode, we will be talking about Us.
Zach won't be there.
And the Google keynote. Zach chose his family and friends over this podcast. I'm
off to save the rainforest.
He says he told me to tell you guys that next week, but for all I care, he can die with the rainforest. We'll see you next time. This has been the Content Cube. I was stalling for time because I forgot what it was called. That's been a show. See ya.
Bye.
Adios.